Now, when we're looking at this, there's a few things that we're going to be looking at. We'll be looking at we'll be looking at who? We're going to be looking at, what do you think the next one will be?
Who, what, when, who, no, where.
Nope, all of those are wrong.
Why?
What do you think the next one will be?
Where?
No. Wait.
How?
There you go. Okay. Good. So, right now, who would like to review a little bit? What is the vision of the live video squad? Like, what is the purpose? What did we kind of discuss, talk about? Why are we doing this? Thanks, Mom.
I think the reason why we're doing this is to have live videos to go out, to reach people, to help them to have better devotions and be able to study the Bible and stuff like that in a more effective way, and to connect with them.
What do you mean by connect with them?
To find out, what their needs are and help them get fulfilled.
Okay.
Through media.
That sounds like that's the purpose of the live videos, but not the live video squad.
Well, the squad maybe is the team of people who's going to get that done.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yes. So while we're doing the daily live video, we all have a part to play. And this part could be done. The goal is to kind of like have this section, kind of like how we had the missionary meetings, where people have different roles that they could rotate and learn different skills. And it's live, it's practical, it's actually going to benefit and bless people. Kamran knows Venamix, but Mom wants to learn and Tina wants to learn, and Orion knows a little bit, or a lot of it, and so this will be an opportunity that we can kind of rotate, we can learn how to do some things. And what I realized, we have the photo up there. Who is the, we're looking at these roles. Let's just take some roll call. Who is the live switcher? Kamran. All right. Who's the live evaluator?
I am.
You are. Okay. Who is the live content manager?
Oh, that's me.
Okay. And who is the live broadcaster? Are we looking at the photos?
Yeah.
You are?
I am.
Are you just saying that?
No, I am. Well, I guess there could be more than one.
No. But there's one person who has like they have that
You
the
just
role.
said who's looking at the picture, and I said I am.
Oh no, I'm asking who's the live broadcaster. You're funny. That was a long time ago, Kathy.
It says the live broadcaster is Deborah.
Yeah.
Yes. So we have the role is one person who's responsible for that, but we all have a responsibility to do as many of the things that we can help with. And just like in the missionary meeting, one person can do multiple roles. At the beginning, it might be a little bit more of a learning curve for some more than others, so you wouldn't diversify your attention until you get more familiar with it. But once we are doing this and we get in a rhythm, then it'll be a lot easier to take on two roles and do a little bit of both while we're doing it. But one person's responsible for each role. So who's responsible? Who is the live recruiter?
You?
Okay.
I don't have the picture in front of me.
Is it true, Kathy?
Yes.
I don't have any.
Yes, you are.
Well, what do you mean you don't have the picture? It's on the Notion.
She had
but
it.
it's somewhere
But
else.
she's taking notes.
You have two fingers. You could just scroll down real quick.
Or you just
And you-
passed
There you
it.
go.
You're there in seconds.
Anyway, yes, it's you as the live
Someone.
recruiter.
Okay. Who's the live prayer warrior?
Deborah.
Deborah.
I wanted Mom to answer for that.
I am.
Okay. Who's a live scribe?
Me.
All right, great. Now, we have these roles, and the goal is to systematize these roles. And what do I mean by that? We need to develop systems, and it's the responsibility of everyone on the team to create systems. That's explaining, that's showing how to do what you're doing. Some of them are more simple than others. Kathy, you already have a system that's kind of like fleshed out. There's still some adjustments we need to do for live because that's kind of built on an old model and we haven't remixed it very much. But I gave you this piece of paper. What you can do is keep it in your binder and keep in mind that whenever you come to these sessions, it will be good to have your binder. The binder is where we're keeping everything located. So keep that with your, I have a section in mine that says like worksheets and tools or something like that.
Are you talking about the daily binder?
Yeah, the account book. When we were on that walk, I asked you guys if you wanted a separate one for handouts like this, or you wanted to keep them all in the same. And we said keep them all in the same and use dividers.
Oh, I changed my mind.
You change your mind?
It's okay. I just find a binder and put mine in there.
Okay. So you want to make sure that you bring that here. So what I want everybody to do is to one thing that you see on your list, on your paper, is a checklist. So that's a checklist of some of the things. What this is basically it was a sloppy list that was put together of responsibilities, what needs to be done, and then it was just categorized by role. When I thought about what were all of the things to do for live videos that would help it to go further faster, I realized I made a sloppy list as big as I could, and then I realized I clustered. Remember, like we were talking about how to form a team, the classes we did before? I clustered all of the related revolving tasks together that has a similar skill set, and then clustered those together and then put a title over it. So we got live switcher, live evaluator, live this, live that, and then it's like that. So each person is responsible for the roles here. And what is your goal? Every one of you should have a goal to replace yourself. What do I mean by that?
Your system should be so simple that other people can do it. They can follow along and get.
Absolutely. Yes, Mom?
It should be recorded so that people could do that
Yes.
without you.
Documented without you. Absolutely. Perfect. So what I'm saying is, this is what I recommend. What I have been doing on these on this account book, I found this system has been extremely helpful. That each day going through, I fill out the account book, and then I see something that needs a change, and I mark it. I cross it out, and I put what I suggest, and I put a star by it. And that star tells me that needs to be adjusted. And then I go on to the next page, and
Before you go to the next page, I don't understand. You mark what? What's in there that you mark?
anything that needs a change, because this is a prototype, right? This is a ongoing that we're making improvements to as we
So
go.
are you talking about on here?
Yes, I'm talking about
anything that needs to be changed on here?
anything that needs to be changed or added.
Oh,
So
Are you talking for that, or like when you're creating the document for this?
I'm talking
the
about
list
you.
that we're doing.
Anything that needs to be changed or added to put it on there.
Okay, and then you were gonna go to the other page, and what was on the other page? Huh. Never noticed that before.
Never noticed what?
Your D's, how you do your D's.
Oh, I actually, a lot of the letters that I do them 3 different ways.
Oh, I never
There's
noticed
no-
that before.
There's no rhyme or reason of how I draw
I do
them.
my 8s like that.
I don't even know how I did them. Sometimes I do them down, sometimes I do them down like that, and then other times I go up. I got 3 different ways to write them.
My 8s.
Oh, you do them differently?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do that with A's too. Sometimes my A's have a line above it too. Anyways.
What was on the other page that you were going to tell us about?
What I was telling you. Well, actually, can someone explain to me what I'm suggesting you do for this?
Huh?
And can someone tell me what I'm suggesting you to do for your sheet?
So we have a sheet, and if we see anything that needs to be changed or like added to it, put a star there or something, or make a little note that you don't forget, and that way you can like change it.
Yeah, notice, what does it say on the very last line?
Write down every additional step below.
Here you go. All of your pages except for Kathy says
It does.
what?
It says bellow.
Oh.
Below.
Oh, well, change it, spell it, and then put a star around it. Do it right now.
I don't have a pencil.
Oh, well, you need a pen. Here. Who needs a pen? That's exactly what you need to do. I gave that to you as an example so that you could you can get practice. I believe in practical education,
That's good.
not just this theory stuff you're just going
Thank
to
you.
forget. You're welcome. So, yes. Now, when are you going to find things that are going to be added to your checklist?
During the session, I would think. And
That's one place, okay. During the session,
But when?
I don't really want to put when. But that's true. Yes, Mom?
Anytime that you're dealing with it or going over your notes,
And how often
Yeah.
should you go over your notes?
every day, and we should, when we find something wrong, we should stick that in our daily planner to fix too. So that it don't get missed.
Okay, that sounds good. When else?
When we were doing the live test, when we say like, oh, or like when we were like,
That's what
In the
Kathy
process.
said.
okay,
Which is
when
true.
we're in a group like this and notice something, whenever we notice something,
Yes.
just all day, whenever we notice something.
I will tell you one of the times where you're going to find the most things to change and to add, but you'll be the least likely to add it to your notes. You guys want to know when that is?
Yeah.
When I'm having a one-on-one conversation with you. Because when I'm sitting down with you specifically to talk about the role that you're doing, that's another, everything you guys said was correct, but that's another place where you're going to be able to understand a bigger picture or more clear what is being asked of you. Does that make sense? Does it make sense to you, Kathy?
not really.
Can you share?
But I guess because when you sit down with me, it's to go over accounting.
No, this is sitting down with you to talk about this.
When are you going to do that?
When
What is the
it's
thing?
not scheduled, but I'll be sitting down to talk to you about it while we're
Okay.
talking about this.
All right. Okay, then it makes sense.
Because there's a lot of things that I talk to you about one-on-one that are not accounting stuff.
Right. I was thinking what you were referring to is our session when you have a session with everybody.
Oh, okay, I see.
That was what I
Okay.
thought.
Yeah, no, not during that time.
Okay, got it. Alrighty.
I mean, I might talk to you about it that time, but probably not.
Aren't you gonna learn the other aspects of it too?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Not to my knowledge.
Yeah, look at the list. Your K is on a few other things. What else are you on? Everybody's name is on multiple things.
It's confusing. There's a KB, a KB, a KB,
What?
and then that one I guess is at live. Prayer warrior. Because those are KBs, KBs, KBs.
That's not a KB, that's a KR.
How can you see it?
That's an R.
Okay.
So live broadcaster, and I don't know what was going on with the K.
A prayer warrior. I can
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, so you're a live broadcaster, prayer
I
warrior.
don't think a live
And
broadcaster. I don't know how that would be.
You signed up for that.
No, I don't think so.
You did.
I don't think so. I
I'm
don't
positive
think that's
you
a.
did. That's a KR. I'm positive. I wrote that.
Why
That's my
would I
handwriting.
sign up for a live broadcaster?
Because that's something you were going to learn.
I don't think so.
Yeah, we all said that we would learn.
Yep. That's the most fundamental and basic role out of all of the different roles and that's the one that every single person in the room is going to be doing regardless of what role they have.
Okay.
What is the live broadcaster?
Mom, can you read what the live broadcaster is?
It says the live broadcaster engages with the live video, reacts to the live stream video, shares the live video to the Facebook wall, tags a relevant contact to it, comments on the video.
Now pause. So you see some of the examples is just like comments, reacts, and shares. That's the basic function of the broadcaster. That is the basic function of this live video squad. It all hinges upon that. Remember what Andrew did during the live video? He got on there and he commented on different things. That's what all of us will be doing during the live video. It's commenting on that video, and she has a few other things, but it's not doing all those things. It's doing which ones we know and which ones we learn. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Mom?
And when you comment, you should use more than 4 words.
Yes.
All
Yeah.
the time.
Not just amen or yes
Yeah.
or that's right. Yeah, because they
Complex,
they
yeah.
count, they test, they have algorithms that see if this is actually meaningful engagement or if it's just spam stuff.
How do you get a list to continue?
When you say a list to continue,
Like, I had 13 and then I did this, but then I can't get the list to continue and the
then
sign.
click over here.
I did it and I just entered it doesn't.
Go over here and hit tab. Click anywhere.
This,
No, you're right there. And then do the next one.
oops.
It doesn't matter where it's
Oh, okay.
add in there. And then here, type something before it.
Like this?
Type something before, anything, and then hit enter. Whoa, that's really weird. Just put 1 above it.
Okay. There you go.
I don't know why it's doing that. But does that make sense,
Oh.
Kathy?
It makes sense. I find it very challenging when I try to reply and do things like that.
Mm-hmm. How
But-
come? You do
You're
it
good
every.
at that,
Yeah,
Kathy.
you're one of the best people in
I
this
know.
entire room.
She's so good
You
at
have
it.
I'm serious. In this whole house, you have most consistently watched the video, commented,
Yeah.
and liked.
Right.
Yeah.
You've done that more than anyone else in the house.
But I do
know.
find it challenging.
Okay.
But I do it.
This
I
is all
can do it.
challenging for us, and we're overcoming
We're all
our
learning,
challenges.
yeah.
We're all learning, and it's a learning curve.
Yeah.
But that's yeah,
Okay.
it's one of the most important roles in the whole squad.
Yeah, I can do it. Because I can. I do it.
Okay,
You do it all the time. You're good at it.
that's right. You do.
Yeah. You know, I go online sometimes and I see how many times she posts, and it's like she's right on it. It's
She
just,
is.
She's like the first one too.
She is first
I'm
one.
like, wow, she got it going on.
That's right.
Okay, so that's what a live
Broadcaster.
broadcaster is. Okay, that's good to know.
And as you see here, I'm working on having something here that has the description of what we do.
Control Z.
All right.
Yeah, so it's just like with the missionary meeting,
Mm-hmm.
we had the roles of everybody.
Okay.
So Mom, if you can think of other things, just think about. Go ahead.
I can. I forget what it's called, but when, like a recruiter.
What about a
You know,
recruiter?
recruiting people to do the same thing. I think that would be good.
That is a live recruiter. That's right here. It's number 5 on this list. And
Here, on the live
and
broadcast,
yeah, and that's another thing. You're a live recruiter also. No,
right
it's,
here?
no, it's not there. But
Oh,
live recruiter. You,
oh.
you could
Can
actually.
I have one of those ones?
Yes. Go ahead. You could have
Well, you
mine.
can use that.
Okay.
You need that?
What I'm trying to do. So I have a list. Remember the missionary meeting? Who's seen the missionary meeting binder that has the list of all the roles and a brief paragraph description of what the role does?
I think I've seen the description, but I don't know about the binder. Is the binder a certain color or something?
It's a binder that you bring to the missionary meeting every week, every time we do it. It's black. It's right there on your shelf in your room. It's the one with all the fine point.
Yeah. Okay, I know.
Okay. I'm glad you out of all of us know.
I was wondering what meeting you were talking about.
So there's the missionary meeting. So there's a page in there that has all the roles and a short
And their
description.
responsibilities.
Yeah, and that's what I hope this will be. So people can at a glance look at every role and be like, oh yeah, that's what that is.
That would be nice with the name next to it too.
Yeah,
Who you
exactly.
can connect with on there.
Oh, the person who's in charge?
Yeah, or even people who know how to do it.
Okay. I need you to write that down here.
Okay.
And that sounds good. We have a page. You can use the photo, Mom. You can use the photo that I sent on the AOY family, and you can get a list of the people who are responsible and everyone who can do it. So another thing, you want to write down on your list that you want to finish your goal is to replace yourself. And so how about everybody write on here to find a replacement?
To find somebody who's going to replace us, is that what you mean?
Yep, that's the responsibility, and it's not on any of yours.
Should we put somebody in mind, or just
Hey,
put
that would be even better.
on there?
Yeah,
Write it where?
I'd like to
Anywhere
learn
that
to
you
be
want
the
to on that page.
switcher.
On this page.
mm-hmm. And we can print more. You don't have to worry about it. See, that's not the actual thing that you're going to use every time. That's just a work in progress. That's just literally that's a minimum viable system. It's just kind of putting it out there. So that's a great idea, Mom. We should all consult the photo that I sent and see who is going to learn to do what you do. So you think, who are you going to train?
You want to train me on the switcher?
And Tina. And another thing that you could list on there as a responsibility is to recruit people for your team, for this role.
What was the last thing?
Recruit people for your role.
So all of us, right?
Everyone.
We're not live recruiters, or we are?
Yeah, we're all live. That's my role, but a secondary responsibility all of you guys have. All of us have. Just like your primary role is the live broadcaster, but all of us have a secondary responsibility of live broadcasting also. So the goal is to make a list, just a checklist of other things, steps that we need to do. Is there anyone who's confused or has questions? Why are you laughing?
I have replaced myself with, and I put the initials, who
Who?
you have down there. But
Who's that?
you have both D which I'm assuming that's Deborah, and then KB, which is Kamran.
Okay.
So that's who can replace myself. But I don't understand what I'm supposed to do next. I'm supposed to put somebody.
Replace yourself.
Well, no. That's what she's talking about. It's recruit for the live evaluator role.
Okay, I don't know what that means.
Do you know what it means? What part confuses you?
Well, replace myself with that, I understand.
Good.
Recruit somebody for doing the job?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because
Are we talking about in the community? Are we talking about in the church? Where are we talking about recruiting them from?
great question. The answer is yes. All of the above.
We're trying to find somebody to take our place, wherever you might find them at.
Mm-hmm. And where do we find people? We find people in the community. We find people at church. We find people in the comment section of our videos.
In our
find
contacts.
people, in our contacts on your Who Do You Know list. We find people for family worship who show up on family worship. We find people anywhere that our content is coming in contact with other people, or we have an influence in others. Where the greatest work we can give our people is to teach them how to work for God and how to depend on Him. So the Army of Youth vision is to help every young person identify their talent and dedicate them to the Lord's service. One of the ways that we do it is that we learn how to identify a need. People who are aimless or people who are willing. People have their hand raised and they're like, here I am, Lord, send me. I don't know where to start. I want to help. How can I labor for the Lord and do something? And then you can find someone like that and say, hey, would you like to join the Live Squad team? I've got this live evaluator, which is just like you would invite someone to the missionary meeting and say, hey, would you like to join? You can also say, hey, we could really use your help, your input for these live videos to evaluate how we can make this better.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Do you have
Makes
an?
more sense.
Can you
Tell me what
rephrase
you
it?
just got to saying.
Right.
Yeah, go look for people who can do the evaluation of the live. I forget the name of the.
Live evaluator.
No, I know a live evaluator.
Live video squad.
The video cast. I mean, this is for the video, the live videos that we're doing. Live video. Cast. Squad. What does squad mean?
Squad is a team.
Okay, live video team. Okay,
And-
and so I'm gonna find somebody that can do the live evaluating of the live video team.
Yes, that's your
Okay.
responsibility. Other than Kamran and Mom.
Right, gotcha. I already know. Yeah, I knew it had to be somebody different than them.
And this is a role that can be done virtually, so there's no limit to how many people can do it
Mm-hmm.
or where the person lives.
Okay.
And you're not limited to find someone for that role. You can be, as like you go throughout church, or as you talk to someone on the phone, as you receive an email, as someone comments on your video, you can think, oh, that person would be very good at praying for the videos. Like they might not like be able to show up every time, but I can invite them, hey, would you be interested in praying at 10 o'clock every day we go live? And we're reaching young people, we're seeking to do this, would you be willing to put an alarm in your phone to say a prayer, to pray for this work every day at 10? And so it's not limited to just the evaluation, but also,
That would be the prayer warriors.
yeah. So it's the point is any role we can be recruiting for.
Okay. All right.
Mom?
And another thing we need recruiters for is to do like social horsepower.
Yes, and that would be under broadcasting. So it's
Okay.
right up your alley.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Number 4.
But if everybody could, ask their friends and
What is
family
that?
and stuff.
We have to explain what it is first.
Yeah,
Because I don't fully understand what it is either.
okay.
But yes, you're right.
Maybe we could take some time at some point to do that.
I do plan on doing that. There are a couple other preliminary sessions that we got to do before that, so that we're all like kind of pre-phased for that, prepared, and then we'll let you have the floor. And
So exciting.
I'm excited too, and to communicate, that is a priority for me. But we're trying to do a few other things first too. That'll be good.
So the virtual is where they could be a live evaluator, a live broadcaster, a live scribe, a live recruiter, but not a prayer warrior. Could not be virtual.
Yeah, prayer warrior can be virtual too.
Okay, because it didn't have a star button.
It doesn't have a star on it?
No, it didn't.
Oh, that's the type of thing where we should add a star. Mom, can you add a star next to your list?
What do you mean? What?
This. Can you? We had a star. Like, use your photos because we got virtuals. I'm glad you pointed that out, Kathy.
Yeah.
We basically want to take this photo and
That is true.
and duplicate it on here.
Mm.
So you see how it's
I see the stars.
virtual. Yeah, and the prayer warrior needs a star.
Oh,
So if you
okay.
can add something like that, whatever you add there, we'll make on the Google Doc and print out a better one. Great. I'm glad you found that, Gabby.
Yeah. Because I was gonna go. Why can't they be virtual? Yeah. Okay, got it. So the live switcher can't be virtual, and the live content manager can't be, but everything else can be virtual as well as live, local.
Correct.
Got it.
This suggestion I got from someone who gets like 150,000 views on every live video that they do, and they're saying you should create like a live video squad and just have 7 people that commit. Like every time you go live, they're just gonna get on there and they're gonna have conversations with each other and share and repost on some things. And I was like, wow, that's genius.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense,
It does.
because with this engagement, then Facebook algorithms say this is relevant, this is really engaging, their sphere of influence is liking this, so then let's open it up to other sphere of influence. And I really see that as we implement this, it can grow. Now I've got a question for all of you. Let's say Johanna is here, just in let's entertain the idea. What do you think she would do good at?
Of these
Mm-hmm.
choices,
I guess you're the only one. Oh no, everyone has their phone with the photos.
she could recruit and pray.
She doesn't like praying, and she doesn't like talking to people.
She could always scribe. I don't know.
She probably
I
could
doubt she
scribe.
could do that. Even if she wanted to, I don't think she could.
Maybe. But what else? Is there something else she could do?
I don't know other than I know Carmen's a live switcher, but I don't know what that involves. If that would be something
I
that
don't know.
she could be taught to do or not.
I think she could be
What's-
taught to do, but I don't think she wants to.
What's an evaluator?
There's so much that she probably doesn't want to do.
Yeah.
It's going to make it difficult.
What's an evaluator?
A live evaluator?
Can you explain what a live evaluator is, Kathy?
Not really.
That's your role.
I know it, but I have to find out what it is.
So
Content, tell me where to read and I can tell you, read it.
I just want you to share what you know. I'm not asking you what you don't know. What is your current understanding of your role?
To evaluate how everything went, the live video squad. That's my understanding of the role, is to evaluate.
What kind of things are you looking for?
I would imagine the things that are written here, like eye contact, vocal variety, clarity, gestures, and audience awareness. The same things that we were looking for evaluating for the other.
That's like missionary.
Right, that's exactly what this page is. It's a missionary meeting. So I was reading it from that.
Oh,
But when you evaluate a live video, that's the things you want to look for.
I think she would be good at that.
Would she also be evaluating the people like that did the other stuff? No. Okay, it's just the street. Okay.
Just how we can make the content better. Now, what about the other form? You have a content, what's that thing
Content
called?
review form.
Okay, content review form.
This is the way for us to receive feedback on our content. By filling out this scorecard, you'll help us to know where we need to improve and how. We'll be you'll be requested to rate different aspects of our content on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 is the worst possible score and 5 is the best. Please leave any optional suggestions or notes in the note portion of each section. Required. What is the content you're reviewing? Then the title.
So the content you're reviewing would be like the title of the daily live video.
Is the title of this content revealed to the content itself? Is the title of this
Relevant.
relevant to the content itself? Would the title turn off any newcomers to our content? How clickable? Clickable is the title. Oh, I know what that means. Is the title intriguing enough that they'll want to click on it?
Perfect.
Good job.
Does the title
Elicit.
elicit
That means invite, invoke.
and emotion? Does the title
Elicit an emotional response.
and emotional?
Do you not see response on there?
There's no response there.
Can you change that to emotional response?
Emotional response. SP.
It's okay, you don't have to know how to spell it.
Okay.
And can you put a star by that? Perfect.
Does the title elect and emotional?
And
And it should be an emotional
yes.
response.
And. So there's a
instead
D
of
in there?
and.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, that's
A-N.
good. I'm glad you
You
check
list a
cross
what?
that out. Elicit an emotional response. Now, this is good for us all to pay attention to on here because this is another role that I like to hear feedback from everybody. And this is something you can evaluate it while you do some other stuff too, depending on what it
What
is.
is that role?
This is the live evaluator.
Content of it, and then the title of it, and then the scoring and the notes, and then the thumbnail.
Oh, what did you say?
The content of it, you evaluate. The title of it, we evaluate.
Wait, can you read those though?
I read those too, but
Oh,
I've read both the what's under the content, and I read what was under the title when we found 2
okay.
typos. But now it's the thumbnail is the next thing that says thumbnail. How clickable is the thumbnail? Is the thumbnail clearly visible even on smaller screens? Does the thumbnail convey any emotion? Is it relevant to the title?
So, who was it that could do the thumbnail?
Didn't you have somebody that was doing really excellent at thumbnails?
No, I meant which role? Because we can create a thumbnail before or during the live video.
So you're asking who in the room can do thumbnails?
Do one thumbnail.
One thumbnail. And the thumbnail needs to be clickable, clearly visible, even on a smaller screen. Convey any emotions. is relevant to the title.
That was you, Mom? I think it was a broadcaster too. I think that was it. Because
That's one of the roles.
okay, you could create that ahead of time, and you could do that during. But what we were doing is yeah.
My question then is, as an evaluator, I'll be evaluating these different sections.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
And the ones you're going over now is more important than that.
Then this.
Yes.
Okay.
But I would do them like both, but prioritize this.
I gotcha. I can
Because-
see, yeah, for the video, the live video,
Mm-hmm.
these are the things that you
And
want to.
the eye contact is really key because I need to focus on talking directly to the camera. And I have a tendency to look around, and I need to not do that because whenever I talk to them and I'm not looking at the lens, it communicates
Eye
distrust.
contact, especially using eye contact to engage audience, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's key.
And that's something I struggle with.
Where'd
Your
get this
gestures you do
from?
good with. Your vocal variety you do good with.
But I really need help to be challenged to stretch because what I have, there's a huge margin of growth and ability to improve, and the more that you can challenge me, the better.
Okay, comfort letter appears comfortable with the audience. Okay, interesting.
But she does that report after you do the video,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm. And what I was
Okay,
thinking is,
Yeah.
it might be good to get her a, because that's a form she could reuse. It might be good to,
Get copies of?
no, to get the sheet that we can,
sheet.
yeah, the plastic sheet that we can draw on,
Yeah.
as well as maybe for everyone else in their checklist, so they can check off things as they go through it. And then when we need to draw on it, we could take the sheet out and write with a pen and put it in there. And when we have enough adjustments, we can batch adjust all the paper and then print off any new updates so it'll be clean and no scribbles and stars. But all of these are really just for us until our goal is to create the checklist, expand. You want the checklist to be as big and necessary as possible, and then the system as soon as we can.
Okay. What is the why?
The why?
Yeah.
What is the why used for? Can someone tell me?
To drive you.
Okay.
Motivate.
What else is it used for? Why is it important to know why we're doing what we're doing?
To
What is this useful for?
that's good to know the direction you're going in.
Okay, yeah. What else? There's something that we all have to do that requires us to focus on this. And without this, we will not be able to do what we're doing. Why is this? Why is the why important?
Without the vision, the people perish.
Yeah.
Yes, so this gives us vision, but what do we do with this vision?
Cast it.
Okay, so what happens when we cast a vision?
We encourage other people to visit it and to get familiar with it.
Visit what?
To visit the video or
No, we're talking about this. We're not talking about the... I know it's kind of weird because we're not talking about the video that's being published. We're actually talking about the sausage and how it's made. Like the live video squad. The squad is what we're talking about.
why we have a squad, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So that we could be on the same page.
Well, not only why we have the squad, but what is the vision of each role? What is the why?
To become the best that we can be.
Well, I mean, yes. I mean that's definitely a motivation. But I'm specifically asking. I'm not talking for specifics like that. I'm just asking, why is the why important? What is this why going to help us to do? That we each, every role
Improve.
has a responsibility. Yes, it will help us
Figure out
improve,
what to do.
to do our best. Yeah, with strong why, we'll figure out what, but there's something I'm looking for. And I know you guys got this. If you cannot get this, it's going to be really hard for you to do what I'm talking about. This is the fundamental. This is your tool. This is your weapon, your leverage, the greatest asset that you have for the responsibility. You all wrote it on your pages. You can't do it without
Replace
this.
ourselves
Yes, and
What
how do you
was
do
it?
that?
What
by
did she
training
say?
others, teaching others.
Well, no, this is how you teach others.
What did she say?
Start with a why.
She said replace ourselves.
Oh.
But how do we replace ourselves?
She said something before that. You said yes.
No, it was replace
No, it was
ourselves. That was
replace.
yes. That was correct. That's what I'm looking for. But how do we replace ourselves?
Teaching.
Teaching is over here.
The system and how to teach.
No,
How to teach people.
I mean
the system.
this is correct, but this is you're dealing with how.
We're doing that so that it can be duplicatable.
Yeah, that's why we're doing it. But I'm asking the why of the role. Like this is a tool. This is an asset. This is a leverage point. You can move. Give me a long enough lever, and I can move the world. Like this gives you the.
So that we
strength.
can fix things that are wrong.
How do you find people to replace yourself?
In casting the vision.
Yes, you're right. Read what you have on your pages. I told you.
Me.
You literally wrote it down.
All I wrote was replace myself.
All I wrote was stars and names.
But
And
you're looking at the wrong
recruit.
paper, Mom. That's it. What did you say?
To
Recruit.
Recruit. Okay, Kathy, if you didn't write this down, you need to write it
I
down.
didn't.
Okay.
Okay.
Because you were looking
Yeah,
confused about that.
I am. I didn't write recruit. Okay.
This is one of the most fundamental things that we can learn and do is recruiting, and you cannot recruit anyone without this why and the vision casting. When you lead with the why, you can recruit anyone. Oh, like there was something I was listening to recently. The guy was saying when Steve Jobs just started Apple, he went up to this like executive in PepsiCo, and he talked to him. He's like, "Hey, do you want to keep selling sugar water, or do you want to come change the world with us?" That was his line. And the way that he phrased that was like, look, he wasn't like, hey, you want to come work at Apple, we'll give you more pay, we'll do more, we'll give you like I don't know, he didn't talk about all these benefits and features. He was like, look, do you want to keep selling sugar water, or do you want to come change the world with us? And Apple was this little company. It was just this little startup, and there was a lot of risk. Nobody knew about it, but this was a established for decades huge corporation and he had a
With the
high-paying track record
Mhm.
and a strong future, high-paying position, but he led with the why. He wasn't saying he didn't talk about like, hey, you want to go build Macs with me? No, he explained why we're doing it. We're changing the world and how people use PCs. Do you want to change the world with us? And the guy left the PepsiCo and he went to Apple. And I don't know who it was, but it's relevant because recruiting is how we do. It's the why is how we do that. Did you write down recruiting on your page? You want to write that down. We need your help, Tina. Did you write recruiting on yours, Kamran? Awesome. Okay. I think you were in the middle of reading the...
Yeah, I was.
Okay, sorry about that.
Stop time, 15, okay, 1:15. The next section after the thumbnail is the pathos?
Pathos.
Emotional response. What's pathos?
Emotional response.
Okay.
So pathos.
It says, what emotions is being generated by this content? How strongly is this emotion elicited?
Elicited? Or elected? What? Is that
Yeah,
what?
elicited.
Elicited. It's not a word in my vocabulary.
It
Elicited.
is now.
It can be now.
It can be.
Elicit.
So what does elicit mean, Kathy?
How strongly is this emotion elicited? I don't know, honestly.
I shared with you the first time you read it.
That's what I went to look to see if it was the same word, but
It's like
elis-
it's like conjured up. It's like you know, if you see somebody
created.
sad and you talk to them and you cheer them up.
Bring about?
You conjured up a feeling inside of them.
You brought
created
you
it.
brought about sympathy. You brought
Yeah.
about compassion. You brought about
Yeah.
encouragement.
So I elicited encouragement.
Yeah, we elicit encouragement. We elicit inspiration. It's like our content is causing a response,
Yeah, feeling.
a feeling, an emotional response.
Okay. Is it strong enough to make someone want to share this content? And then we'll score that from 1 to 5 and take notes. And then it says unique
Can I ask you something, Kathy?
Yeah.
That last one that you just read, would you repeat that?
The pathos emotional response. What emotions is being generated by this content? How strongly is this emotion elicited? Is it strong enough to make someone want to share this
How would
content?
you know if it's strong enough to make somebody want to share it?
If you want to share it, then you know it's strong enough to make somebody want to know to share it.
Well, your why is different than other people's why.
And you're more bought into the vision of the Army of
Yeah.
Youth.
Right.
So you want to think about someone.
Because if strong enough to make someone want to share this content, then how would I know?
Well, you could tell if it's engaging or if it's something new or something something exciting that people would look at it like it's something great, like they have to share this. Like if you heard that the National Sunday Law was signed into effect, you'd be like, whoa, that's going to be hot news. That's going to be a hot topic. So if it's something that people would share around a lot because it's very important, that would cause it to be like that.
Right now, our past content would be very low scores on there, very low.
Why?
Just because our content doesn't do those things, and that's why we're doing it daily so that we can get better and better and improve
We
those
will get
scores.
better.
And you can
And
see
if
by
we-
the views how low we really are scoring.
Yeah.
Because
and
we might think, go ahead, Mom.
if we look at the ones that are scoring the most,
Mm-hmm.
then we can look and see what kind of feeling
Yes.
and what wording was used
Absolutely.
to make that. And then you could give a suggestion of how that other title could be similar to that one.
You realize there's ones on the back too. The hook and the engagement. There's quite a few.
Yeah.
My bladder's not going to hold up much longer.
Okay.
Oh, funny.
But it's 1:55.
You want to read it, Mom?
Sure, I'll read it. Behind here?
Yeah. No, behind those three.
Behind what?
Those
All
three.
of these?
That's what she was looking at.
Oh, okay. Not this one, but these ones?
Yeah, she already read that other one.
Oh, okay. It says, okay, the score, mark only 1, and it's 1 through 5.
She already read that.
The hook.
Nope.
Did the first 5 to 10 seconds grab your attention? Did you want to keep watching, listening after those first moments? Was the best portion of this content placed at the beginning? That's a good question.
Mm.
Is it made clear what this content's about? That's a good question.
Mm.
And then
Who's someone that we can think of? Because like she's gonna be like 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 for hers, but like who's a person we could put in her mind? Like what would Johanna rate this, or what would Angela rate this? Someone who would represent our ideal audience. Because we would rate it higher than
I think
others
Angela.
are. Angela?
Yeah, Angela would be a good one because she's a Seventh Day Adventist. Plus, she doesn't take a liking to too much.
What about someone younger?
I just
You
read
did the
that
hook.
off.
Yeah. And then engagement.
I was thinking about Lacey. Like, perhaps. Maybe when you look at like someone like Lacey,
How about Sarah?
and Sarah's not really our target audience, but someone like Lacey, who is, would Lacey want to share this? How would she respond? Because you're going to be biased because you're bought in and you really like it.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be more inclined to mark it high, but
Right.
very rarely would we have a 5 for these things, because we don't have very much experience in it. So we're just
Right.
trying to improve as we go.
And you would know if there was a lot of followers or if something went viral, then that
Mhm.
would be a 5. Or,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Right.
Um,
Right. And also a 5, you don't have room for improvement. And we know we have room for improvement.
Yes.
well, is that what it said?
That's what I believe
That's what a 5 is.
what a 5 is. Just
Well,
a minute, I'll go back to
I don't believe it. No. I don't think.
is the best.
Yeah,
1 is the worst score and 5 is the best. Well,
yeah, but that doesn't mean you don't have room for improvement. It doesn't matter if you're the best always improves.
okay.
And like if you have that mentality, you'll never get a 5. But there are some times where you can rate that like, hey, that was really good.
Viral video.
Yeah, things they go viral, like that's a 5, but you could still improve on these things.
Okay. All right.
Because Jesus was perfect. He was a 5, but he still improved every day.
Okay.
Jesus increase the wisdom.
Okay,
It's 2
great.
o'clock. I
Um,
mean, it's almost 2. So
yeah, but it's not.
engagement. Engagement. It says, how engaging was the contents? Is the audience directly addressed? Was there use of stories or testimonies in the content? Was there use of stories or testimonies in the content? Okay, so,
Like personal testimonies.
yeah. Unique, I don't...
Perspective.
Perspective.
Do you know what perspective is?
Not really.
It's like
Perspective.
sharing common things in a new light,
Perspective.
A perspective is like
a point of view.
yeah, your point of view on something.
Perspective. Your perspective.
It's like that story when you talk about the elephant and one person's holding the tail and they're thinking something, somebody's touching
It's
the
very
side.
ropey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're, and it's all an elephant, we all
So,
have different ideas.
Unique perspective is your...
I'll give you an example.
Okay.
One would be like someone struggling to overcome sin, and I tell them you need to memorize the Word of God, and that was the answer. It's like, well, yeah. I mean, or like you need to claim the promises, memorize the Word of God. Like that is the answer that is so common, so obvious, and it's good and it's nice. But a unique perspective is saying the same thing in a different way. And a really good way to do that is to think back in a time, what was an experience that God brought me through that helped to see that? So then I tell the rose story, where I was tempted to steal, but because like it was like, if thou knowest to do good and doeth it not, to him to sin, if thou knowest to do, and I was like, oh, why is that in my mind? I don't want that. He's like, where am I going to do this? Thy word have I hid in my heart that I might not sin against thee. And I was like, oh, that's why it was in there. It's like God's responding to me. And it's because I memorized the Word of God, I was able to overcome that sin. So that sharing the same thing, but from a unique perspective. That's the type of stuff that will be shared. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that does.
Is that the last one?
No. We have Christ-centered, which is Christ the Word,
What are the other ones?
focus, and call to action.
Okay, so I think,
And then mass appeal. One last
appeal.
thing. That's it.
okay, well, those are really good questions. And us being able to review our content like that, the more people we can get to review our content like that, it could really help people's feedback to improve and find out what they want, what they need, and then how to do better.
Right.
Okay, well then we can close with a word of prayer. Did anybody learn something today?
I learned a lot.
I'm glad you're here,
I thought I
Kathy.
had a simple job doing evaluation.
I'm glad you
but
chose that.
It'll get easier, Kathy.
It will, I know it.
And trust
With
me,
experience.
everybody here has a learning curve in every role we've taken.
Yeah,
Right.
You're not alone.
I understand. I truly understand that.
I definitely have.
There's
that.
no way I would want to. It's somebody else's job. I know. I will learn mine.
Praise the Lord.
We're gonna learn ours and hopefully we learn everybody else's.
Or at least most others, because we don't necessarily learn everyone, but there's a lot that we all could benefit
The
from.
more that we understand, the more we can help people.
It's absolutely true. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who would like to close us with a word of prayer? Okay, thanks, Mom.
Dear Lord, thank you for the love that you put in our hearts and that we could come together and do the work that you have put before us. Help us to be good at the work that we do and to be eager to do it and to put aside issues that are in our hearts or mind or issues that we see before us. Help us to put those aside so that we could do good work for you and to keep you forefront through it all. Please send holy angels to protect our work and to guide it and to deliver it and help move the minds and the hearts of the people who are going to receive it so that they can see the value in it and desire it. We thank you, Lord, for everybody that helps us, not just us here in this room, but everybody outside who helps us now, who's ever helped us or whoever will. Please give them extra special blessings and be with us always. We love you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
Now, before you hit stop record, I just want to say that we are going for lunch. We're gonna go get some pizza, and it's because we successfully launched the Direct from God funnel by December 5th, just like we wanted to do. That was a goal we really pushed hard. And the Lord blessed tremendously, and I'm so thankful for everything that each individual did. If it weren't for like all of you, it would have been so much harder to accomplish that. I set a goal in the past to get something like that done. I didn't have the accountability, and I didn't follow through. And October 22nd was when I wanted to do it, and then the Lord saw fit that we can do it together, and truly, we can accomplish far more together than we ever could apart.
Amen.
And I'm so thankful to be able to work together. And I'm excited for this afternoon. And we've got something special for Kathy too. And so we'll be able to rejoice with you when we come back.
When we come back, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
and then-
moving now.
Yes, and then Kathy's going over to the motorhome to go tie down some stuff so they can reposition it.
Oh, they're not going to bring the motorhome over here?
I was going to ask you, do you mind if he does, if he wants to, once he gets it
Oh,
started?
that'd be great.
Okay, and then I'll just give him a ride back.
Sure.
Because once I get it ready to move,
Okay.
So, who's helping you?
Pastor Smith,
Okay.
but we should move your car. I was thinking if we could move your car
Oh my God.
to
You do.
where my car is right now,